Hey there, Heather Hill. There's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome me to the other Stone Cold Hockey 78-79 WHA video about the last season in World Hockey Association history. You notice the leaderboard being awkward, and you see Cincy on top of the world right now at 48 points, Quebec 47, Edmonton 43. New England 43, Winnipeg's struggling. They're two below 500, but Birmingham is really struggling. The Soviets are 5-0-1, and the Czechs are 1-5-0, and Indy's 4-21. Well, Indy ceased operations after 25 games and did worse in this simulation than they did everything. Czechia went through the WHA like one every team and went 1-5, and the Soviets were 5-0-1 with Quebec, the only team to take a point off them. Speaking of Quebec, they have three of the top five goal scorers. Real Clichet, 52, Serge Bernier, 24, Mark Tardif for 20. But here's the funny thing. Real Clichet has 52 goals in 38 games. That's akin to Gretzky scoring 50 goals in 39 games in the 81-82 season. But yeah, and the weird thing is Don Cherry, when he did the color commentary of when Gretzky got his 50th goal against Philadelphia, he said he's got 50 before anyone else has 30. Well, that's true in the WHA too. Pierre March has 25, Serge Bernier 24. Ravi Fatour 24. Points wise, Real Cluche, Robbie Fatorik, and Mark Tardif are 1, 2, 3. So Quebec's got a couple of good players there. Goaltending, Jim Corsi trying to prove himself worthy at 2.75. Richard Brodeur 307 and Dave Dryden 310. Well, Michigan may be second, but bear in mind that he won't be second for long because once how many games are played, things are changed. Look at the highlights and all that. 15 hat tricks, including Real Cluche. Real Cluche was still has had how many hat tricks have you? He has had 7 freaking hat tricks. He hat tricked Indy, then Birmingham, then Birmingham, then Birmingham again. Checks Birmingham, Winnipeg. He has thrown 4 hat tricks against Birmingham. Actually, check that. 5 hat tricks against Birmingham. So 15 goals have come via Birmingham. Well, Andreev of Russia did score a hat trick, beating the New England Whalers. And I believe that's the only one involving Russia. Real Kluche blitzed the Czechs for 4 goals. Number 1 on the points list. Memorable games Quebec Edmonton from November 21st when Quebec was up 3-0 and choked in overtime. Birmingham over Winnipeg October 13th when Winnipeg was up 5-1. Winnipeg 6-5 over Indy. Indy was up 4-1. And Indy 7-4 against New England. Soviets Birmingham, the top Soviet game against Birmingham. When Birmingham was up 3-0, Russia put up 4 straight goals in the third period, no less. Surprised that only got to be number 7. And Czechia, none of their games have been like classics. Well, they only won 1 game there. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to be going through the Wednesday games. All of that. So Winnipeg, Birmingham, Edmonton, New England. So that means that's Cincy and Quebec. So we have to find out when Cincy plays Quebec next so that we can do the third game there. But anyway, Winnipeg heads to Birmingham for this game. They're the 2 worst teams in the WHA right now playing. Pat Regan in the nets for Birmingham. Future Bruin and Capital goalie Ernie Wakely and Wayne Wood would back him up. Joe Daly, the one of the greatest WHA goalies of all time. He'll be playing for the Jets with Gary Smith and Marcus Matson sitting out. The Jets have Kent Nielsen, who's a Flames icon, Morris Lukowich, whose brother Ed was a 2-time Canadian curling champion, Peter Sullivan, Terry Roskowski, Willie Lindstrom, future Oiler, Rich Preston, Barry Long, Bill Lessick, Lyle Moffat, Bob Gwendon, John Gray, Paul Denbruch, Michael Medeo, Scotty Campbell, Paul McKinnon, Gray Hicks, Roland Erickson, Steve West, Kim Claxon, aging Bobby Hall, Bill Davis, Lars Eric Schulberg, John Gibson, not the former Kitchener Ranger goalie, and Ted Green. Yes, terrible Ted Green, who 9 years prior actually had a stick swing incident that cost him the 1970 season. Birmingham, known as the Baby Bulls, because John Bassett, the owner, wanted to get 18-year-olds to play hockey, saying that 18-year-olds can vote. Well, in the NHL, you could be 19 when you had to be drafted. Anyway, Rick Five, part of the Baby Bulls, doing the job, and Pat Reagan too. Gaston Shingra, I think, and Michel Goulet, one other guy. Can't remember who. Ramage? Yeah, him. Anyway, Rick Five, future 50-goal scorer for the Leafs. Michel Goulet, Quebec/Chicago legend. Rick Arellano, Paul Henderson. Yes, that Paul Henderson from Canada, 72. John Stewart, Craig Hertzberg, future North Stars defenseman. He who shall not be named because of what he fucking did. Not just for his vehicular homicide that killed Keith Magnuson, but for ruining the Leafs as captain. Bob Stevenson, Steve Alley, Wayne Dillon, Louis Slager. 5 years later, he would be in trouble for what he did to one, Sean Hamel during the playoffs, Dave Gorman, Gaston Gingras, Dave Hansen, part of the Slapshot thing, Serge Baudouin, Tony Castellato, Jim Turkowitz, Peter Moran, Greg Tabut, Brett Hughes, Gavin Kirk, who's been around the Bulls franchise since day one, the first WHA season when it was in Ottawa, then Toronto, then Birmingham, and Keefe Kruger. Much later. Birmingham? No. 6 months later. In fact, no, they tried. Aggression. Campbell. They sure Catalano on the power play for Bodang. Oh, cha-cha-cha. What do you know? Much later. Catalano does it again from Stewart. 2-0. Birmingham like 20 game losing streak or something. Moving up 2-0 after 4:20. Wish it was 40 minutes. 2 minutes later. He throws a hat trick. A natural hat trick. From Paul Henderson. This guy had 2 goals to start the game. Now, coming in the game, now he's got 3. This guy is a 91 to 95 scoring thing. What about yours? You're Rich Preston Manning. I love that word. Reform. From Wiskowski and Galaxon, 3-1. 3 minutes later. Redbird yours. Baby bull, da 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 da, baby bull, da 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 da, baby bull, da 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 da, baby bull. Now it's 4-1, do 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 do. Winnipeg's in trouble, do 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 do. Will Birmingham finally win? Do 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 do. Birmingham 5-14 from Goulet and Stewart. 5 minutes later, Birmingham with the penalty. Hold on. Nielsen gets hit. What about Chance Nielsen? Fuck. He missed the handle. 3 minutes later. There's yours. Aduano from Gorman and Dillon. And that's going to chase Bailey. Winnipeg down 5-1. They know Birmingham had that big lead over the Czechs and choked it. No, the Soviets and choked it. They're Winnipeg clacks in for 2 minutes. You don't want the worst team in the WHA to beat you, huh? Sure. The front. There's another shot rebound score. Henderson has scored for Canada. My notes say, oops, Henderson has scored for Birmingham. Has 8 from 5 in Marin. 4 minutes later. Enforcer, aggression. Double hit, but no penalty. And it's the clock. Hansen, of course, slapshot guy. And Ken Nielsen puts it in. His 18 from Sullivan and West makes it 6-2. Double hit. Birmingham probably killing the clock. They got a fight between Hicks and Baudin, but the Birmingham Bulls win 6-2 in Winnipeg, proving that they need work. Bobby Hall better be back in good spirits. So Birmingham wins. Castellato with a natural hat trick. You make me feel like a natural hat trick. Now it's time for Edmonton, New England. 2 tough teams to battle each other. Dave Dryden in the net for Edmonton. Ken Dryden's older brother, who played for the Sabres and Hawks, among others, in the NHL. Eddie Meal, Ed Walsh, and Ken Perry will be waiting. John Garrett, the backup New England for, well, Al Smith, and then John Garrett, who did well in the NHL before he became a color commentator for CBC. The Oil Drop have the great one, Wayne Gretzky, in their lineup, picked up from Indiana. Blair McDonald, great winger. Brett Callahan. Ron Chipperfield, the first ever NHL captain of the Oil Drop. Cowboy Flat. Dennis Subchuk, Stady Weir. Hopefully there won't be any meese to ruin his penalty shot. Haha, wink wink. Joe McElady, who was a former Ranger commentator. Paul Schmier, Al Hamilton, who's number 3, is retired by the Oilers, despite the fact that he never played in the NHL for them. Steve Carlson, part of the Slapshot thing. Peter Driscoll, part of the Indy fame. Dave Hunter, great player. Claire Alexander. Dave Langevin, who had gone to win cups with the Cupcakes. Jason Michael, the bodyguard. John Hughes, not the director. Doug Barry. Garrett Ace Bailey, who died in 9/11. Russell Sitzelin. Bill Goldsworthy, yes, that Goldsworthy, who was a Minnesota North Stars icon at first. Jim Nielsen, former Ranger. Pierre Guite, and West George. The Whale Drops have the Howe boys, Mark and Marty, with their father, Gordie Howe. Maybe you've heard of him, Mr. Hockey. Andre Lacroix, who seemed to play for a different team in a different city each year, but did well in the point scoring race. Mike Rogers, future Ranger. Davey Keon, number 14, Toronto Forever. Gordie Roberts, 1,000 games as an American defenseman, which was hard to do at the time. Warren Miller, Mike Andanovich, Pye McKenzie, who left 2 Stanley Cups in Boston behind to play in the WHA. George Lyle, Alan Hangsleben, Rick Lay, WHA icon. Ron Plum, Jody Douglas, Brad Selwood, former Leaf. Jim Warner, Blaine Stoughton, who was a Leaf at one time but left for the WHA and did better with the Whalers when they were in Hartford. Larry Plow, a WHA icon. Jack Carlson, also part of Slapshot. Dave Inkpen, coming from Indiana. Peter Watt and Jeff Brubaker. Here we go. Here must be yours. Well, it's number 9, just like the goal scoring thing. From Mark Allen Stoughton. He is Mr. Hockey after all. 5 minutes later. The other drop, no. 2 minutes later. Yours! The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Mark Allen's 19 from Warren makes it 2-0. 4 minutes later. Edmonton Skiers, the great one. Because he's great. His 5th from Alexander Schmier. Well, he didn't play much for Indiana, but when he went to Edmonton, he did much better. 3 minutes later. Edmonton Jets, Semenko. Brad Semenko did score the last goal in WHA history in real life. Trust me. I know. Edmonton, Carlson gets whacked by Hangsleben. Edmonton Skiers, Papa goal. That was very, very good. Doug Barry, that is his 2nd from Dennis Subchuk and Gretzky. 3 minutes. Edmonton Tigers for Mr. Diamond. Papa goal. Pyle, Shazam, Pyle. His 11th from Mackenzie, Lyle. Let's go. That's a 20-goal season for Mark Howe from Douglas and Lacroix to 42. Well, Mark Howe, 5 minutes later. Action Skiers. He did it because he's great. His 6 from Schmier and Carlson makes it 4-3. 2 minutes later. And then, I thought Chipperfield was going to score. I thought we had a tie. Much later. Edmonton hits Warren. Last moment, there's a fight between Schmier and Selwood, pair of defensemen. 4-3 after 40 minutes. Edmonton trying to do something. They have a jet skiers. Blair McDonald scored a goal. E-I-E-I-O. His 13th of the year from Callaghan and McGillety. E-I-E-I-O. We have a stand-up out there and a slap shop there. Now it's 4-4 for Edmonton, New England. Blair McDonald had tied it up. E-I-E-I-O. 2 minutes later. Jet skiers. Yeah, Goldie Shuffles in the WHA. He scores his first WHA goal of the year from Subchuck and Mekhaleti. And guess what? Edmonton's in the lead 5-4. New England is not happy with Garrett, especially after that lead. So Al Smith is coming in the net. Whalers trying to counter. What? Double hit. Aggression. New England makes a penalty with Rogers. Can Edmonton suffice? Nope. Semenko couldn't, but they do draw a 2-minute call on Pye McKenzie. Back to the power play. Jetsky, Pepper Power goal. Callahan hits 19 from Stevie Carlson. 6-4. Put the foil on. 3 minutes later. Edmonton takes the penalty. It's Warren Miller. This game's pretty much over. Driscoll. Oh. Trying to do what Gretzky can. Empty nets start coming up. Subchuck puts it in from Blair McDonald. 7-4. Wow. Was it what? It was 4-2, and then Edmonton scored 5 straight goals. Everyone thought New England was going to win this game. Yours truly included. But yeah, Edmonton, 5 goals from 5 different players. Gretzky, McDonald, Goldsworthy, Callahan, and Subchuck. And don't worry about it. Gretzky only had 2 points. Only. That's got to be one of the greatest games of all time. Cincy, Quebec. Well, Cincy, when's their next game against Quebec? Their next game against Quebec was January 12th. February 18th. So we will simulate till February 18th because we need to do. That's the 18th. And to be Quebec, Cincy, New England. Yeah, we jumped. We have to jump because Cincy, Quebec have to face each other, and they will on the 18th. So Quebec, 29-19-3 against Cincy, 30-24-0. Michel Dion, who would go on to play for Quebec in the NHL in the 79-80 season, he's your starting goalie. Mike Leo would do a little better than him. Leo was named the Hart Trophy MVP runner-up to Gretzky in '81. Unfortunately, Leo would not win the Vezina. For some strange reason, they decided to have the Vezina be given to the goalie with the best on the team with the fewest goals allowed, and it ruined a lot of people. Well, King Richard Brodeur will play for Quebec. 3 years later, he made a massive move with the Canucks, getting them to the conference title and shocking everyone by getting to the Stanley Cup Finals against the others, and the others showed no mercy. Corsi and Lafesseur are your goalies behind Brodeur. And Quebec does have the big 3 of Cloutier, Tardif, and Bernier. Rich Leduc, Paul Baxter, Bob Fitchner, J.C. Tremblay, also like Tardif, a Montreal outcast. Before we win WHA, Gary Lariviere, the Bordelot boys, Paulin and Christian, Alain Cote, Kurt Brackenberry, Dan Jeffrey on, Boom Boom's son, Francis Lacombe, Dale Hoganson, Norm Dubé, Gilles Bilodeau, Wally Weir, Kevin Morrison, Richard David, Jim Dory, Peter Lagasse, Kevin Devine, and Rene Leclerc. For Cincy, they have Robbie Ftorek, future NHL coach, Raj Thomas, Jamie Hislop, Peter Marsh, Craig Norwich, Mike Gardner, who would score 700 goals in the NHL for Washington, Minnesota, New York, Toronto, and Phoenix. Bill Gilligan Island, Rick Dudley, another future NHL head coach, Dave Debo, Chuck Luxa, Daryl Meggs, Byron Shutt, Barry Melrose, another former future NHL head coach, 93 Stanley Cup Finals, Byron Baltimore, Michel Parizeau, Dave Forbes, Barry Legg, Messier, who went from Tier 2 hockey to the WHA, which was unfair. He should have been in the the Western Hockey League at least first. Claude Saint-Fort, Gordy Clark, Ed Gilbert, Paul Stewart, Byron Watson, and Kelly Davis. Here we go. Really? Quebec, Ebu. Rich Leduc is 14th from Lacombe and La Riviere. Good thing that Leduc was picked up by the Nordiques from Indianapolis. Hello, Mom. 4 feet. Rebound, no. 5 minutes later. Quebec, Fitchner scores from Leduc and Tardif. 4 minutes later. Quebec, oh. 5 minutes later. Dudley Steele, Dudley the Dragon, Banks and Vetch Thomas. 2-1. Dudley the Dragon. I don't know the theme song. 2 minutes later, Tardif his 29th from Cote and Bernier. So the big boys are coming to town. 4 minutes later, Dudley Quebec with Tardif. Thomas misses Hogan. No. 4 minutes later. Carrotville. Future Northeast. Correct skillers. Papa probably go. You can call him Loom Loom or Zoom Zoom, not Boom Boom, but Jan Jeffrey on his 8 from Christian Bordelot and WHA makes it 4-1. 4 minutes later. The leg man has scored from Norwich with 4-2. Oh boy. But they could have gone on Cloutier and Hoganson, so it's 4-2 Nordiques after 40. 5 minutes later. Quebec takes the penalty. It's Brackenberry. Well, Hislop got there, but Brackenberry had to hack Hislop. Greg Thomas. 21st in the park at 43. Go away yet, boys and girls. 1 minute later. Battle. Aggression. Penalty Quebec. 4-2. For Torque misses. Bernier. Skill. Shorty. It's 28 from Cloutier and Baxter. Makes it 5-3. And Gardner gets spooked 5-3. Yeah, you might as well just keep it on. Shot no. Like, why not? It is against his hometown team. Quebec can't do anything. Empty nets. Gonna do nothing, probably. Well, against Cloutier, his 78th goal. Amazing. From Bordelot and Fitchner. 6-3. 78. Holy fuck. He's that damn good? All right, so after February 18th, we're going to go back to the Saturday. How many games do these guys have left? Quebec's got 28 games left. They play till late April. Okay. So we will simulate to the Saturday games. Yeah, we'll simulate to Saturday. Is there a game on the Saturday? It is. There's at least one. All right. So after this, right, Edmonton in the lead, Quebec second, Cincy's dropped to third, New England's fourth, Winnipeg's far from it. Birmingham's done decently. They're now 1837, which isn't half bad. But look at the goal scoring. Real Cloutier has 81 goals. Well, 7 people have 30 goals. Lots of people do. Gretzky's starting to pick up speed. He's now 20th in goals. Well, Real Cloutier has 81 goals in, I think, 54 games. Yeah. And Peter Marshall's at 39. Man, what the hell is Cloutier on? Steroids? He has 81 goals. He's going to get to 100 soon. Assists, his 31. He's actually unofficially... No, 37, sorry. He's 9th in assists. Points, he's crushing it. 118. Fatork second, Nielsen third. Wow. Take away every assist. Take away his assist. He would be 4th in points behind Fatork, Nielsen, and Tardif. By himself. You have all the goals. He's at 81 points. Take away all his goals. He's at 37 points. He would be tied for 36. He would be 36 if you take away all his goals. That's creepy. Goaltending, Corso, Mio, who's fighting Lake Edmonton, Richard Berdure are your goals against. Michigan technically is number 1, but they'll soon drop. I mean, 3 games and all that. You got to drop off sooner or later. So yeah, so the standings are Edmonton 53 games, Quebec 54. Cincy's played 57. Winnipeg's played 59. Yikes. Points percentage wise, everything's the same, if you will. The Czechs would have the better point percentage than Indianapolis did. Quebec has scored 225 goals. That's second to Winnipeg, but they've given up 178. Yeah, 81 goals. So take away that. That's 144 goals scored by the Nordiques. Yeah, 81 out of 225. Yeah, 81 goals. Well, one third is 223, so just under 33%. So we'll go once again to the Saturdays schedules and all that to determine things. Everything looking good. Hey, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.